What's up, dude? Over the course of my 20-year career as a professional restaurant chef, I've spent about 5 of those years serving breakfast. And in that time, I've definitely developed a preference for how I personally like my eggs cooked. So in this video, I'm gonna show you 7 preparations for eggs so you never ever screw them up again. And as always, there is no time to waste. Now let's go! Our first preparation is gonna be over easy eggs, which is probably by far the most common egg you're gonna see ordered at your local breakfast place.
Something's different about you.
New shirt, man. Yeah. Take my non-stick skillet here. I'm gonna bring that up to medium heat, which usually means leaving it on the fire for about 2 minutes. And I'm going restaurant style here just by using some neutral oil. This is avocado oil. You could use another one if you wish, although I'm not that down with vegetable oil. And of course, if you want, you can also use butter. That tastes really good, but you have to be a little more careful with the heat so you don't burn it. Crack your eggs in, and I'll just swirl, make sure they're loose. Now, just a word of warning, in this video, there's gonna be a good bit of yolking around. I don't need to explain myself. It's just dumb dad jokes. I'm not a dad yet, but I like the jokes. And that's it, just a little over a minute. Those whites are starting to set. You wanna shake the eggs into the bottom of the pan and just gently flip over like so. You could use a spatula, but I do prefer the flip if you can pull it off. And then I'll simply just go 20 seconds on that side and flip back. At this point, you can kill the heat and we'll go ahead and serve them up. And if you want, you can season the egg in the pan, although I just like doing it after. That's just how I do it because I'm using this flaky Malden sea salt. And sometimes when I season them in the pan, because the salt is very crystal-like, it will actually pop the yolk when I flip them. So I just do it after. Of course, a little bit of Sergeant Gilbert reporting for duty, my little fuzzy friend. Over easy is gonna give you that really runny yolk as you see right here. It should ooze out like so. My problem with over easy eggs is when I order them in restaurants, I swear they're cooking them in half the time that I just showed you how to do it, and I get that snotty white, which I absolutely hate. If the white is ever undercooked, it's not for me. Just a perfect egg, perfect runny yolk, always a solid choice. For our next egg, we're going over medium, which is actually something I really love to order out at restaurants. For these eggs, you wanna start the exact same way. The only difference with the over medium is we're gonna cook them for 2 minutes on that first side before we do the flip, and then we'll double the length of time on the other side, so 40 seconds. Whoop, and flip. Heat off, we'll let them sit in the pan for another 10-15 seconds, and then we'll serve them up. Same deal, salt on top. And these ones are gonna have a little bit of runniness, but not as much as that over easy egg. As you can see, it's only spilling out a tiny bit. It's more of like a gelled sort of texture, if you will, which for me is actually almost the perfect execution of an egg. Exceptional, and here's why. When I go out to eat at breakfast restaurants, I never order eggs over easy. Because when I do, I'm always getting the undercooked snotty egg white. I find that when I order eggs over medium in a restaurant, they actually come out how over easy is supposed to be. That's my observation anyway. I really love the texture of that yolk. And there's a tiny bit more crunch on the bottom, which is also really nice. A good experience. For the third egg, we're gonna do over hard, which look, to each their own. If you like it, you like it. Here's how you do it.
You sure there's nothing different about you?
Oh man, I grew a little bit of a goatee. Same way you start the over easy and over medium, crack them in. These ones we're gonna flip after 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Of course, if you don't like this crunch and you like that slimy texture more, we don't agree on that, but just turn down the heat a little bit. Obviously, that's gonna work just fine. I like a little bit of crunch on the edge of the white. That's perfect for me. And flip back after 1 minute and 30 seconds. Whoa, oh, hey, oh, 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 kind of messed that one up. You can always get in there with a spatch. If it doesn't work, there we go, heat off. It's a total cook time of 4 minutes for the over hard eggs. You don't need to cook them any more than that. Don't need to obliterate them. Same deal, serve them up. Maybe my pan got a touch too hot, but hey, you ordered them over hard. Don't complain when they're dry, you know? Same thing, it's like ordering a sort of well done steak. The only time I see kind of over hard eggs as acceptable is when somebody's making deviled eggs, because then you're blending the yolk that's overcooked into more luscious and moist ingredients, which then makes it good again. And here we go. So again, this one is even a little bit undercooked, but it's not oozing out. I mean, if you want, like, look at this one. Now that's over hard, as you can see, but it's not obliterated. There's still some sort of moisture in here. Let's give it a shot. Again, don't expect me to order eggs like this ever, but it's not terrible. If you like them like this, that's okay. I'm not gonna hate on you for it. Although I just did, I already did. The fourth preparation is gonna be sunny side up eggs, which if you're new to cooking is a great one for beginners. Same exact deal for this one, although I would add a little bit more oil. I'll show you why in a sec. In you go. And if you're just getting into cooking, sunny side up eggs can be great for beginners because you don't have to flip them. Just leave them in there, medium, maybe medium low heat, and let them cook. We are eating a ridiculous amount of eggs today. I'm already kind of full. We're gonna need some exercise after this, Marcus. Egg-cercise. We're gonna get so sexy. Here we are 2 minutes in, and the biggest complaint people have with sunny side up eggs, myself included, is that you sometimes end up with a snotty white because it doesn't really cook enough. There are a few things you can do. People sometimes put a lid and put a little water in there. I don't really recommend that actually because it will overcook the yolk and you'll lose that beautiful visual effect. What I recommend doing is tilting the pan back a little bit, and I'm taking a wooden spoon here because I don't want to ruin my beautiful pan, and just basting with a little bit of this hot oil right around the yolk but not on the yolk. And this is going to cook that whole area so you don't get any of that snottiness. And of course, you can just dab it up with a little paper towel after to get that off. But this works like a charm, and that's all it took. Those are done. That's beautiful. Right at about 3 minutes, just basting for that last minute. Perfect sunny side up eggs. And there we are. Let's serve them up. Woo! I love the way a sunny side egg looks. Looks extravagant. That one just came off the top of my head. That was good. Before we taste these, the final egg preparation for this video is by far my favorite egg, which is a little bit of a hybrid version of a sunny side up egg. I can't wait to show you what it is. And there you go. With any good sunny side, it should have a nice runny yolk like you see right here. And if you ask me, that white should absolutely be cooked. Give it a taste. The white has a little crunch on the bottom, which I like, but that's personal preference. Delicious. And I would also say it's the most visually appealing egg. That's why they use the sunny side up egg for the emoji. It's the best looking one. I mean, it's really an excellent...
Sonny, too many egg puns. You've been exiled.
Isn't that another pun?
Shut up.
If you've been watching this video and wondering what pan I've been using to cook these eggs, it is from today's sponsor, Made in Cookware. And I'm proud to say I've been using Made in Cookware long before they ever sponsored one of my videos. And don't just take my word for it, because these are the pans they use at Alinea and La Bernardine, which are both 3 Michelin star restaurants, and if those guys trust these pans, I do too. What I personally really love about Made in Cookware is they are making restaurant quality cookware for the home cook. And for the price, I really do believe that these pans bring you the best bang for your buck. Today we're talking about their non-stick collection, which is made here in America as well as abroad in Italy. They're non-toxic, and trust me, these will be some of the best non-stick pans you ever cook on. They literally last 10 times longer than their premium competitors and 70 times longer than ceramic non-stick surfaces. They passed 100% of a third party's health, safety, and non-toxic tests here in the USA as well as abroad in Europe, which, if you didn't know, Europe holds those kind of safety tests to a really high standard, so that is a good sign. Underneath that non-stick coating, there is a 5-ply stainless steel, which means these pans are going to heat up super quickly and super evenly. And unlike other non-stick cookware, you can stick these pans straight into a 500-degree oven, which is really cool. And when it comes to cleaning, almost always I'm just wiping them out with some paper towel and they're clean and ready to go. You can check out the non-stick collection as well as Made In's other cookware by clicking the link down in the description. Thank you so much, Made In, for sponsoring this video, and now let's finish off these eggs. The 5th way, and by far one of my favorites, is going to be scrambled eggs, and I have some things to teach you about this one. And on doing scrambled eggs, I always choose 3 eggs, always. And by the way, real quick, if you want to do the one-handed egg crack, look at my hands. You're simply doing this, right? I'm going to show you without the egg first, and now with the egg. It's really that easy. And then always start by popping the yolks and mixing. You can just use a fork for this. The reason I like to do 3 eggs is if you do any less, it tends to dry out a little bit easier in the pan. This will really just ensure that your eggs stay nice and moist and don't overcook. Although having said that, if you do have a smaller pan, you can definitely get away with doing 2 eggs. And Marcus, my cameraman, just asked me if I ever put milk or anything. For me, the milk absolutely kills the texture. For some preparations, you can get away with cream, but honestly, butter, eggs, salt, that is really all you need. And for scrambled eggs, you really want to drop the heat if you ask me. If this is low and this is medium, you want it somewhere about here. And we're also using unsalted butter for this, and I'm adding most of it now, but I'm gonna add a little more later, and I'll tell you why in a sec. I'll never forget, early on in my cooking career when I was 17, I was working at a breakfast restaurant in Sebastopol, California, and I had a French guy come in and order scrambled eggs. I sent him out, as I usually do them, overcooked. I didn't know it at the time. He sent them back and asked me to cook them, but wetter. I did it again, he sent them back again. I made it a 3rd time, he sent it back again, and each time I would cook the scrambled eggs a little bit less, thinking how gross and disgusting it was. Little did I know, that guy knew what was going on with eggs. And later on, when I moved to England, I really learned how to do it properly. So this is what we're doing. Once that butter melts, straight in with the eggs. And you want to immediately start moving these around. You don't need to stir too crazy, but just keep that heat real low. Keep them moving. And by the time we're done with this, you might think it's gross. I don't need you to go straight from however you cook scrambled eggs right now to this. All I'm asking that you try to do in your own home is cook them a little bit less. See how you like it. Cook them a little bit less and a little bit less. And I can almost guarantee if you go into this with an open mind, you will never go back to overcooking scrambled eggs ever again. If you make it and it separates into chunks and turns brown, that's way overcooked, which makes it taste the way a wet dog smells. Sorry, It's true. I'm just keeping an eye on them, and I'm making sure I'm getting them off the edge of the pan here too. Of course, sometimes I'll put chives or cheese in here, or whatever you really like. Point is, you don't need to. Eggs, butter, and salt is really all you need. At this point, when they're really starting to come together a little bit, I'll add a little bit more butter, just a little bit more. And that's gonna add some real creaminess. At this point as well, you can see I'm moving fast, right? I care about these eggs, right? Salt in. A lot of French chefs would say that is done, right? I like it a little more cooked, right? I'm just letting that butter melt in, and I've had that heat low this entire time, right? A little more, a little more. When they're starting to come together really like that, boom, they're off. For me, get it away from the heat. It work quickly now, because they're gonna keep cooking in the pan, and let's go ahead and get them out. And as you can see, these eggs have a nice little jiggle to them. That's how I like it. A lot of French chefs would even say that's overcooked, but for me, I kind of go a little bit more, right? And if you've never tried eggs like this, I really encourage you to do so. Oh my God, it's so perfect. Even if you want a little more salt on top, go for it. They're pretty well seasoned, but man, for me, that is so good. Of course, make some toast. Have it however you want. Marcus, have you ever tried eggs like this? Come on down. Let's see what Marcus thinks, because he's our guinea pig, because he doesn't make his eggs like this. So this is a little overcooked from what the French would say. I mean, if you think it's gross, say it.
No, it's good. I like it.
And this, along with the last egg preparation I'm gonna show you, is definitely some of my favorites. I love scrambled eggs. Good go-to late night meal. And of course, when it comes to scrambled eggs and French omelets, it's gonna be as good as your butter and your eggs, right? So if you use a high quality butter, it's obviously gonna taste better. That is just something to note. The sixth way is gonna be an omelet, and specifically a French omelet. If you're more into American omelets, go for it, but I wanna show you how to do this the real French way.
So you're telling me it's just the goatee and the shirt?
Egghead. There's an egg on my head.
That's not it.
For this, I'm gonna start with actually 4 eggs. Usually I do 3. The reason I'm doing 4 is because this pan is a little bit big for omelets, so 4 is just gonna really help with it not drying out. Pop, 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 pop. Same as scrambled eggs, just start by whisking them up. I think I got exhausted with the egg. I seriously didn't mean to do that one. Oh my God, that was so unexpected. Oh! Now with a French omelet, you're going in with chives, tarragon, and parsley. This is a pretty classic combination of herbs to use when you make this kind of omelet, although you can add whatever you like. Whisk them in. Now same for the scrambled eggs, low, medium, low heat. And again, same like the scrambled eggs, we're gonna add half our butter. Once that butter melts, add your eggs. And just like the scrambled eggs, you wanna start stirring right away. Don't hesitate. At this point right here, I'm gonna season them up just a little bit. More seasoning coming later, I'll show you how I like to do it. After about 40 seconds, the rest of your butter goes in, and keep stirring. And after about a minute, make sure you scrape those sides like so. Stop stirring. Just stop right when it's about like this. And there we go, just another 30 seconds, and we're gonna tilt the pan and just sort of let this fold up, just like so. No color here, right? And then we wanna just tap the pan like so. We're gonna keep this all nice and jiggly in the corner of the pan. Again, this is a little bit more confusing because it's not quite an omelet pan, but it is gonna work still. Just letting it cook a little more in the pan. It's still a little bit loose. Plate down. Of course, you can cook it more if you want, but we're gonna flip it out like so. Shaker in the middle, shaker in the middle. At this point, because why not, I'm gonna rub it with more butter. Ooh, gosh. And more salt right on top, because we only did a little in there. Touch of white pepper. Okay, let's slice in here and see how we did. A little gooey. Honestly, a lot of French guys would say this is overcooked. It was definitely a little bit trickier in that pan. Still delicious with all those herbs. And mine rolled up like a little spiral cake, which isn't exactly the technique you want, although it did work. It's still nice and tender, really delicious. Obviously, for most Americans, this is probably gonna be preferred, but the French would undercook it much more than this. The 7th way to prepare eggs is by far my favorite. Here's how you do it. Well, again? You're trying to figure out if something's different about me still? I didn't want to tell anyone this. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna say it. Patrick Stewart is my father. Grand finale, here we go. This is the sunny side up egg hybrid. And all you're gonna do differently is add a little more oil and bring the pan up to medium-high heat. We're almost trying to replicate that crispy kind of Thai style egg you would get on something like a pad krapao. And when it's nice and hot, drop in your egg. 1, 2. And after 30 seconds, I'm gonna drop the heat down just a touch under medium. Now I'm gonna push my eggs over to that side of the pan. And then again, what we're gonna do is tilt and baste the egg with the hot oil around the yolk, but not on the yolk. You gotta be kind of careful here. It's basically like a really crispy sunny side up egg. Because as you can see, this golden brown, delicious, crispy stuff is what I'm after. I do not know why we are not doing this to our eggs all the time. It tastes so much better. Again, with the oil just around the yolk, be real careful when you do it because you don't wanna cover up that yolk, right? It's a beautiful yolk. Oh, look at that. And the whites are gonna bubble up a little bit, which is also really cool, but not too much. See, that one I'm not gonna baste anymore because it's almost covering up. That's it. Heat off, and there we go. Go ahead and plate it up. Happy days. Oh, I just love this. Again, now we'll hit it with the salt once it comes out. For me, this is the perfect egg. Sometimes I'll put chili flakes or fresh Parmesan cheese on top, pepper, right, if you want. It's got that runny yolk, but the whites are totally cooked and a little bit puffy from the oil and the basting. And then the bottom, as you can see right here, is ultra crispy. Oh, this is the one. Come here, you. Seriously, I'm so sick of eggs because this is the last one we cooked, but that was freaking excellent. Ah, damn it. The difference of textures you get in each bite makes it absolutely freaking phenomenal. Marquise, try this one, please. This is my egg, Marcus. Yeah, just get the crunch, like.
Sunny side up's my favorite egg. I like that better than sunny side up. Just nice to have a crunch.
Cool, yeah, I'll take that. I'll put links for the pans I've been using down in the description below this video. And if you want to support the channel, we now have some incredible merch available for purchase. There's more videos to my left and right if you want to keep learning today, and if not, that's fine. Until next time, you know I love you and I'm out. You want to get a B-roll of this? Feels nice. It feels kind of nice, it's kind of warm.